Good afternoon and welcome to our very first virtual annual meeting. As many of you know, we're experiencing a lot of firsts this year, and so we just want to say thank you for joining us today and being with us for our virtual annual meeting. We've turned the Big Sky Economic Development offices into studios, and so I want to thank everybody that's joined us here in-house, and I especially want to thank the BSED team. They're all together in our conference room downstairs, so welcome to everyone. We have a Zoom wizard with us today. Dustin Frost is helping us with all of our Zoom needs. So thank you, Dustin, for being our tech wizard on that. Every office probably now has a Zoom wizard if I'm guessing right. So thank you so much, Dustin. We've had many firsts this year, like I said, and so we've had to learn a lot of things. We've learned how to Zoom, obviously, and it's certainly given us a new technology to work with as we navigate through COVID-19. We've also learned a lot of other firsts, and a lot of businesses have learned for the first time how to pivot their business model that's worked for them for years, how to work from home, how to wear masks, that's a new one for everybody, how to chase down sanitizer in the grocery store. Also, we've added plexiglass to our offices, and the one thing that we really have all learned, maybe not for the first time, but it's very important, is the resiliency for our business community and our community in general. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. I do want to do some recognition, which we usually do every year. I want to really recognize our elected officials. I want to start with our county commissioners, Don Jones, Dennis Pittman, and John Osland. They are such incredible supporters of our mission, and we're just so lucky to have them as our county commissioners. We also have several city council members with us today watching, and want to say thank you to them and for all their work that they do for our community. I think there are some other elected officials on as well, some legislators perhaps, and some state officials, so welcome to our annual meeting. The next group I really want to thank is, of course, our board members. There's 32, Steve, 33. We add them every once in a while, but we have so many great board members. They give so much time to our organization. They give their resources and their expertise, and we just couldn't do it without them. And then, of course, our member investors. This is the time of year that we always celebrate with our member investor companies. We have 150 member investor companies that help us throughout the year with our committees, with expertise, and again, with their resources. So we really want to thank them. And our community partners, they've never been more important to us than this year. And we've had a lot of opportunities to work together and collaborate. And I just want to say thank you to them. And of course, our team, we couldn't do it without them, 23 of us, and they're all down there. Becky, do you have the opportunity to turn your camera on and wave and say hi to everyone for me? There's our socially distanced, masked team all in the Yellowstone room joining us today. So thank you for being there. And I want to give a special shout out to one of our staff members, Marcel Bruschi. She's our program manager of marketing, and she's really put this together for us today. So thank you, Marcel. The next thing I want to talk about is I really wish I had the chance to thank everybody that's on this Zoom meeting with us today. And so the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to give you a virtual high five. Thank you so much for just sticking with us and participating and just really getting through this year with us. And we have an impactful hour planned for you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our agenda. We have three things that we're going to do with you today. The first thing is we're going to introduce our board chairs and let them talk a little bit about some of the work that's happened at Big Sky Economic Development over the year. And that also includes an introduction of some new board members for us. The second thing will be the premiere of the Build Beyond video. It's really been a project that we've been working on for the last couple of months, and we're really proud of it. And then last, we'll hear from Steve Arviskow. So with that, I am going to introduce to you our two board chairs, Robin Rood. She's the EDA board chair, and Mike Sepula, our EDC board chair. We're going to go ahead and start with Robin.
Thanks, Melanie, and thank you to everyone for joining us this year in this virtual atmosphere. This is quite a difference from our event last year at the Metro, where we celebrated our 30-year anniversary with nearly 500 guests. I don't think any of us could have imagined 1 year later all of the changes our community and our businesses would have to endure. But once again, our community has shown just how resilient and adaptable we can be when facing adversity. I want to start by thanking Steve and the staff at Big Sky Economic Development. During a regular year, they're active with many projects, but this year they performed all their regular duties and were on the front line to help businesses navigate these uncharted waters that COVID has brought us. As part of our strategic priorities, we have added the implementation of the economic recovery plan and building a shared economic and community development vision and action plan. We're also excited about the work that is being done on our new home for the Big Sky Economic Development and the Rock 31 Entrepreneur Program. We are in the early stages of renovation for the Montana Bank building that's right downtown under Sky Point, which we purchased with the help of a federal EDA grant. Cushing Terrell has been retained to complete this project with us, and we're excited for an opening likely in the spring of 2022, much to Steve's dismay. He'd like it to be a little earlier than that, I think. Last, I wanted to recognize the work of the Big Sky Economic Development on the statewide arena. Over the past year, the Big Sky Economic Development team, along with the Montana Economic Developers Association and the Montana Chamber of Commerce, have taken the lead role for greater economic development tools statewide. This work culminated in a comprehensive report that will help guide our legislative priorities for the next session, and we continue to advocate for modern and economic development programs for both our urban and our rural Montana communities. Again, thank you for the honor of being the EDA board chair. It's been an incredible year, and we couldn't have done all of this great work without our community partners.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you for all of your work this year. It's been a pleasure to work with you as the board chair for the EDA. Next, I want to introduce Mike Seppala. He is the board chair for the EDC. Mike?
Well, thank you, Melanie, and hopefully everybody can hear me. I think I got unmuted successfully. I guess I want to start by, first of all, thanking Robin for being such a great co-chair this year. She's pulled me out of a lot of trouble, and I certainly appreciate that, Robin. So when I started this year, I talked to Steve and I said, Steve, I only really want one thing from you, and that's no controversy. I guess I should have been a little more specific and said no controversy and no pandemic. It's been an incredible year with this pandemic, and that being said, this team has just been absolutely amazing. They didn't miss a beat. From day one of this public health crisis, they knew that there would be a corresponding economic challenge. And they jumped right in and they worked every day to assist the businesses of our community. Knowing that this is a long-term challenge, Big Sky Economic Development added to our strategic priorities for this year to include maximizing our Big Sky Economic Development services to additionally support the economic recovery of our business community. This will include not only economic recovery, but also giving businesses a chance to help seize upon opportunities for growth. In fact, recently the Big Sky team applied for an additional $2 million grant. They're going to use this for a low interest revolving loan fund. These dollars can be easily or quickly deployed and will definitely help small businesses in our community. We're hopeful to hear about the success of that grant in the very near future, and we know that this will help our businesses tremendously and assist them along the way. The suite of services that are offered by Big Sky Economic Development and the professional and experienced staff that provide those services should give a great deal of confidence to our business community that as we work through these public health and economic recovery challenges. Each year during our annual meeting, we announce our new Economic Development Corporation board members. This year, we have 3 individuals that will join us in January to serve 5-year terms. EDC board members are comprised of representatives from our member investor groups. First is Jennifer Kapsa. Jennifer is the co-owner of TKI CNC, a local manufacturing company here in Billings. Jen has more than 20 years of human resources experience working in call centers, banking, radio, retail, engineering, and now CNC machining. Welcome, Jen. Next is Nick Pancho. Nick is a principal architect with collaborative design. He's an active member of the Lockwood TED Advisory Board and alumni of Leadership Montana, and prides himself in many entrepreneurial endeavors. Our third new board member is Michael Marsh, president of Midland Claim Services and Recreational Action Sports Entertainment. He has a diverse insurance and technology skill set and is a licensed adjuster, WC examiner, and agent producer in Montana. Michael is also a semi-retired professional motorcycle flat track racer. We're excited to welcome these new EDC board members to our team and thank them for committing their time and resources to the mission of Big Sky Economic Development. Now I'll just throw it back to Melanie.
Thanks, Mike. And thank you and welcome to our new board members. We're excited to have them join us. As you heard Mike and Robin talk about our strategic priorities, we want to make sure that you know that our new annual report, our 2020 annual report is available. It will be online starting tomorrow morning, as will all of this information that you have today, including the video, keynote video that you'll hear Steve talk about in a bit, and also our annual report. So be watching for that. In your invitation, I promised you that there would be a prize for a lucky business that is watching today that would win. And so Marcel and I have selected that winner, and we will be announcing who that is on Facebook directly following this event. So just go to Facebook, you'll see us again, and you'll hear who the winner is. So we're excited about that. The prize this year was a lunch for 20 people at your office, and we knew people would have to be socially distanced and all of that, so we chose Project Lunch this year. She does individualized lunches, and so you can have a socially distanced party or you can order them individually. So thank you, Sarah, for doing that for us, and I hope we'll announce the lucky winner after we're done. So the next piece that I really want to talk about is a video that we produced over the past several months. This video has been a labor of love with our business community, our team, and our video production leader, Pete Tolton. I would like you to sit back and enjoy and watch the premiere of the video Build Beyond.
How do you spell resilience? B-I-L-L-I-N-G-S. This community is all about being resilient and working through challenges and difficulties. I saw that spirit come to life in the middle of March and is still very present today.
We chose to move to Billings. There are opportunities that are endless.
We do about 175 events a year here, and our amount of people that we estimate bringing to downtown is between 50 and 70,000 annually. We estimate our economic impact in Billings to be $25 million to other businesses. We had seen 2020 as being the best year of our business.
We were expecting a lot of growth this year, had a lot of plans to add some new services and additional team members. We had high hopes of growing our business.
Everything that we have in life comes generally from a truck. Meadowlark started in Billings, Montana over 38 years ago by Rick and Donna Jones, my parents, and now it's grown to over 120 million in sales with exposure across the United States. About 700 people call Meadowlark their home.
It's not a throwaway product, it's not throwaway food. We specialize in delivering salads and wraps in reusable stainless steel containers directly to people's offices or for catering events. Beginning of February, I hired 5 people. We have big events booked, $10,000 events. You know, everything was really looking up. We were very excited for what the future held.
Steve Bullock makes a major move to help protect Montana from COVID-19.
We'll be implementing immediate measures to ensure social distancing by Montanans staying at home except for essential activities and services.
Well, it was devastating to us to have to close our business. That's just not what we do as a small business owner, entrepreneur. We plan on, how to grow our business and how to make money and provide jobs. So it was difficult not knowing what the future was going to bring or how long, or was the staff going to be okay.
It was like a light switch. This is our livelihood. This is how we pay our bills. And to go from trending to being one of our biggest years ever, even while factoring in a downturn, is basically no income for over 6 months. Being honest, it is scary.
It's the whole industry. I mean, it's artists, it's the bus driver, it's the stagehand, it is a manager, it's a booking agent. I mean, it's everybody involved in this.
We are in the energy sector with oil and gas, and about 40% of our business was involved in that industry, and so that has dramatically decreased.
As we got closer and closer to the government shutting down businesses, those events that I had booked started to cancel.
We have public health emergencies that are emerging in our community. Shutdowns, it is going to impact our economy. We need somebody to rally behind that effort, bring our community together, and talk about how we move through this. I didn't even have to say 2 words beyond our community needs us. And the team came together. And I get emotional because I've watched how hard this team has worked over the last 7.5 months. Our job is just to help facilitate that dialogue, to help point the community toward a goal that's achievable as we work through economic recovery. It was amazing to watch how people rallied and continue to rally. It's the team in downtown. It's the team at the Chamber of Commerce. It's business leaders who came around the table as the Yellowstone Economic Response and Recovery Team, who themselves were trying to keep their own doors open, but gave us extra time to help add expertise, wisdom, guidance, direction, input into the whole recovery process.
I thought it was brilliant to bring everyone together to have one source for information for the business community. It really, really helped to know if anyone didn't know what to do, there was a place for me to refer other business people to, because information is key to keeping people feeling okay. Being part of the Open and Safe campaign was really important to me because I liked something that's positive, that was helpful. There was such a great effort to get even just the masks out to businesses that needed it. The response was tremendous with people who weren't able to source things, and to have that available, but also to model by putting the sign up on the door. It was all voluntary. It was just your goodwill and your good word.
We're tired. We're tired of wearing masks. We're tired of having to do everything that we're doing. Have we been discouraged? Absolutely. I've heard that voice from our business community too, but they are not giving up. And it's that spirit that frames who we are as a community, realizing at the same time that the job's not done yet.
We ended up completely remodeling the salon. We decided we'd never have that opportunity to be closed again. So we did a lot of measures to distance because we didn't think that this was going to change real soon. So we decided to look into the future. It was a big change.
Governor Steve Bullock directed the closure of all public schools in Montana.
I really had on my heart that the school district was going to do everything they could to make sure children were fed. But because of my previous experience and what I know about society is that some people aren't going to get to school to get lunches.
Back in April, we shared a story about a local business owner stepping up to make sure no children go hungry during the pandemic, delivering sack lunches to kids across Yellowstone County.
I contacted a friend of mine, Jen Rar with Deer Creek Design, who's also a client of SBDC. Project Lunch essentially became Project Love. But we packed a sandwich, a vegetable, a fruit, a dairy product, and a treat So the first day we delivered 19 lunches, the next day it was 65. We got really overwhelmed really quickly, and so we called on volunteers. 220 lunches per day was where we maxed out.
If it's tough for people, like they've gotten behind on rent, whether it's personal or business rent, whatever it is, it's figuring out and finding resources to help you. There are a lot of things available to help people, individuals and business. The state had a lot of opportunities financially. Where success isn't at hand, ask for help. You know, I think that's the message right now.
With the trials and things that have come up with COVID and other business avenues, we were very fortunate to be able to work with PTAC and Big Sky Economic Development in being able to be certified in the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certificate that would allow us to be able to secure a very large job through the Port Authority in New Jersey. This project started this September, and we're excited because it's a lot of jobs and revenue for Meadowlark.
What I am passionate about is making sure that our 37 employees are taken care of. We participated in the Paycheck Protection Program, and we paid all of our employees for the 8 weeks at full pay when we had no work for them, which we were happy to do. But after that PPP ran out, we just didn't have the ability to bring anybody on because we didn't have any way to generate the revenue to take care of them.
These venues that, as Lynch puts it, were the first to close and will be the last to open, won't survive much longer. So they're banding together. In April, owners across the country formed the National Independent Venue Association and introduced the Save Our Stages initiative. It's a campaign that allows people to send emails to national legislators urging Congress to introduce specific funding for extremely shuttered businesses.
I see it every single day in the eyes of my staff, in the eyes of the community leaders that I work through on Zoom meetings, that they're not giving up. They're going to move forward, they're going to be successful, and this community will be better as a result of that passion and dedication that has not waned.
Seeing people being willing to reinvent themselves so quickly and reassess where they're at rather than just lying down and waiting for this to pass has been really inspiring for me.
There's lots of divisions right now, which makes it very difficult to connect with people, especially when you're not allowed to be around them. I think it's essential that we take the time to analyze what happened, what was good, what we need to improve, and how we can move forward.
Even though you may have that, the shadow of a problem out there with COVID, you still have people being smart, wearing masks, practicing distancing, that are willing to go out there and support the community.
If you ask me really what I love most, I just love engaging with our community, working to build a remarkable community, build a remarkable economy, build the right infrastructure, encourage entrepreneurship and business growth and talent. Now it's time to build beyond.
Wow. What a story. It's your story. It's our story. But I think there's something missing. So forgive me, but I have to do this. There is to be continued. Our work is not done. I know that's a little corny, but that's absolutely true. We want to continue to write this story with you, to lean into the issues the community is facing together, and that work will continue. I want to offer some thank yous, and then I'm going to share with you a little bit of a framework about our recovery efforts, the work that we're doing in partnership with you. And then I have some final thoughts and some encouragement that actually came to me in a note that someone shared with me the other day that I want to share back with you. So first, the thank yous. I want to thank you all for joining us virtually. This is not how we normally do our annual meeting, but that's true with everything we're going through right now. So thank you for pausing your day right now and just clicking and joining and being a part of this virtual annual meeting. I also want to make sure I give a shout out and a thank you to those that were a part of the video. Sean and Ann, the pub station, you guys are absolute rock stars, no pun intended. Just the commitment you've made to this community, and that commitment continues day in and day out. So thank you. Sarah, Project Lunch, wow, leaning into the needs of our community, of our school kids the way that you did. Thank you for that commitment. You've shown back to our community and being a part of this feature video. Amanda with Meadowlark Transportation, keep on trucking. That's what I'm going to share with you. So thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. Karen Gross and a group called Inspired Beyond Recovery Focus Group. It's a group of folks that Karen and I put together, about 20 people, to just have a conversation about their individual stories. And so Karen, thank you. Thank you to that group that came together 3 or 4 times throughout the last several months and just had conversations out loud about how they're experiencing this COVID and what it means to them personally. And then Chris at Sanctuary Spa and Salon, keep on cutting hair and taking care of us and keeping us looking good. You have been such an innovator in this whole process, and I'm just proud to be a partner with you in the work that we're doing together. We did some filming at the Petroleum Club. That's where they filmed the dialogue that I shared with you. And so thank you to the Petroleum Club. Pete Tolton and your video team, I want to thank you just because you were so patient with me. I don't know how many hours of film you took to get that little piece that made sense, but thank you. And you've done a great job putting this story together on video for us. Kevin at AD Creative, can't do it without some creative flair, and so your participation has been very much appreciated. I want to also really offer a very extended and sincere appreciation of my board of directors, 33 board members representing our public-private partnership, EDA and EDC. You have been champions through this whole process, giving us the resources and encouragement, setting policy and direction. And so I thank you, sincerely thank you for allowing me to have a little bit of a long rope and on occasion get myself in trouble, but you're there with us and you're there with the community. So thank you for that. Also, my colleagues on the Big Sky Economic Development team, you are the community's supporting cast, but guess what? There's no show without you. And to me, you're stars. And to this community, we support and engage, and you guys do that in such a powerful way. So thank you to my colleagues who are viewing this somewhere else, not with me right now. But I so appreciate your effort, time and energy, extra effort that you've shown. Let me share with you quickly the framework for the work that we have been doing and that we're going to continue to do on behalf of this community with our many partners in this effort. So we pulled together the Economic Response and Recovery team. That came together in March very quickly. People responded to that call, as I had indicated. It's a great team of people and partners and business leaders, along with our public health folks. We're all in that together. And we established a 4-part work plan. First part of that is just coordination communication, staying in communication with each other, making sure we're coordinating our effort and filling the gaps and having that just seamless effort on behalf of the community. The second part is assessing the economic impact, and Allison and our team leads that effort in partnership with Andy at the city and others who can crunch those numbers so we know exactly what the impact on our economy is looking like on a daily basis. Third part of our work plan is strategic restart. John Brewer and Lily Corning, you have done an awesome job of leading that strategic reopening on behalf of our community. And it's just been an amazing effort. That's where the Open and Safe campaign came from. And it has just been a fantastic effort. So thank you for that work. Our last part of our work plan is what we call recovery advocacy and planning. And the advocacy part of that is we were routinely writing letters to the governor's coronavirus relief fund task force, advocating for tools and resources. In fact, an hour ago today, before this annual meeting, Allison and I were meeting with the governor, having a conversation about needs we still have in our community today. In addition to that work, that team also did the work of creating our economic response recovery plan. And very quickly, that plan includes 3 stages. Stage 1 is ongoing coordination and response. We still have to stay committed to doing that work together and coordinating that effort well. Stage 2 is what we call business recovery and stabilization. There will be a time in the days and weeks and months ahead as we get our feet on the ground that we're gonna have to encourage businesses to think about how they reinvent themselves, what we can do to provide them resources or tools, finances, whatever it might be, to continue to gain traction in recovery. And then stage 3 of that recovery plan is what we call building economic and community resiliency. We're going to have a chance to talk a little bit more about that in the days and months ahead, but we did some additional homework around this whole notion of building resiliency and preparing our community for our future. I had the opportunity to do a Zoom meeting with 2 national experts, John Roberts and Tracy McDaniel from TIP Strategies. They're working with communities all across the country. And 7 months ago, I connected with their team at TIP Strategies to work on the next generation analysis, looking at economic development tools across the state. So I pulled them into a private dialogue about what they're seeing in other communities across the country regarding economic development. They shared with us a very powerful story. In fact, they were going to be our keynote speaker if we had an in-person meeting. You would have got to hear them talk about economic recovery that way. So we've recorded that. We're going to post it on Facebook. You'll be able to get it on our Facebook. If you're participating with us today, we're going to send you a link of that tomorrow. You're going to kind of get to lean in and hear what these 2 national experts say about Billings, Montana, and how we're positioned and what our future might look like in terms of how we approach recovery and beyond. 2 other things that I just want you to make note of, and then I have a some final words of encouragement I want to share with you. I want you to think about joining us this fall and winter, although it feels like winter today. Eventually we'll be in winter, full throw. We've got 2 things coming up for you. We're going to host an economic recovery progress report to the community. That's likely to be in the first part of December. It could spill over into January, depending upon the workload between now and then. But that'll be our opportunity to report out to the community how we're doing in each of the elements of our work plan, what that looks like, what we've learned from our experience so far, and where we're going in terms of the recovery plan. So stay tuned for more information on that economic recovery progress report to the community. And then in 2021, as the calendar turns, I have no idea what the year is going to look like. We want to host what we call a community builders build beyond work session, where we get to come together as a community and think out loud about that stage 3 of that plan. What does our future look like together, and what do we need to do to maximize that opportunity? So be just aware and paying attention to some information on those. So let me share some final thoughts with you, and then we'll wrap up our time together today. It is really tough to kind of look beyond our current circumstances. They are very real. They're impacting all of us. They're impacting our businesses, some in different ways. They're impacting our healthcare workers significantly right now, our families, our students. We're all being impacted. I still remain hopeful for our community and our collective resolve and our ability to move beyond this challenge. Yet my hopefulness pales in comparison to many of our business leaders. I want you to remember the little wooden coaster that we handed out at our annual meeting last year. Robin referenced the annual meeting at the Metro. It was our anniversary. On the back of these coasters, we asked the 500 people in attendance, what are you going to build next year? So with that in mind, I got this note from one of our colleagues in the community, and I want to share that note with you. And here's what she shared with me. She said, also, for your information, my wooden coaster from last year has these words on it. Lead my team during the best year yet. I hate to say this, but I think this is our best year yet. We've experienced the single biggest challenge of our existence, and we have come through in a way that makes me proud of our team. I honestly think this is our best year. Now, notice that she didn't say this was an easy year. In her message to me, she didn't even say that this was a profitable year. And I'll have to ask her later how the numbers looked like. She said, we've experienced the single biggest challenge of our existence, like so many of you. She said her team came together. They made her proud, and she calls that her best year. So to reflect on that kind of spirit of hopefulness and pride that she shared with me, that I shared with you, I want to encourage you in two ways as we close. Think about these two things. I would encourage you to stay committed to our public health directives and guidance. You're going, oh no, come on, Steve. Really? Yes, stay committed to that. But today we had 173 new cases in Yellowstone County. We had 932 new cases throughout the state of Montana. For the week so far in Yellowstone County, we're at 633 cases. This is still a very real thing. By staying committed to that guidance and direction from our public health officer, it supports other businesses. It supports yours, and it supports your neighbors' businesses as well. It protects your workforce. It protects the workforce of your neighboring business. By staying committed, it respects the challenges that are being faced by our healthcare workers right now. And your commitment to stay in line with that guidance helps our kids stay in school. The second encouragement that I would give you is to stay resolved. Stay resolved to come together as a community and work through our recovery and beyond. It will take commitment to the fundamentals of community development. It will take unique thinking, and it likely will stretch our status quo thinking, and it will absolutely leverage our strengths as a community. I promise you this, there will be a chance for us to pivot together, focus on stage 3 of our recovery plan, and seize new economic and community development opportunities. While it's a tough thing to say 2020 is our best year, we will build beyond this year and will be stronger for the effort. So my last encouragement to you is, if you're a business and you're participating with us today, if you need help or additional resources, please reach out to Big Sky Economic Development, reach out to the Chamber, reach out to Downtown, any of our other partners, any of the members of the Yellowstone County Economic Response and Recovery Team. We're available, and we absolutely want to help you. Take care, and thank you very much for your partnership.